Is it really possible for a tiny tweak to your morning coffee routine to ignite your metabolism and put your body into full fat-burning mode for the rest of the day?
Check out the link in the video description now and transform your morning coffee into a metabolism-boosting super drink.
Matthew Perry's grieving stepfather Keith Morrison characterized the actor's drug addiction as a big terrible bear. He gave into it frequently, he said. He felt he was beating it. But you never beat it. And he knew that, too. He did, and despite having it all, fame, wealth, good looks, charisma, talent and success, the Friends star's tragic death from an acute overdose of ketamine last October, aged 54, stunned and saddened the world, not to mention his co-stars. The pain and shock of losing such a close friend and colleague still runs deep. Just this week, Jennifer Aniston broke down in tears as she was asked about Matthew's tragic death during an interview with Variety. "I was literally texting with him that morning, funny Maddie. He was not in pain. He wasn't struggling. He was happy," she said. Perry's battle with addiction was well chronicled. In his 2022 memoir Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, he insisted that he had finally conquered it after spending $9 million trying to get sober, going to rehab 15 times, detoxing 65 times and attending 6,000 AA meetings. Yet after he died, some associates came forward to confirm that Perry, tormented by feelings of loneliness and fears of being abandoned, was never able to maintain his sobriety for very long. They revealed he'd been on a multi-day bender just before filming the Friends reunion show in May 2021, and had been high when recording the audiobook of his memoir, too, in late 2022. He'd even been under the influence, it was suggested, when writing it. Now, some 7 months after Perry was found dead in the hot tub of his home, in the upmarket Los Angeles district of Pacific Palisades, it seems the time has come for answers and justice. A joint investigation has been launched by the Los Angeles Police Department, the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency, and the U.S. Postal Service to find the person, or people, responsible for supplying Perry with the drugs that killed him. That person must have been aware of Perry's addiction issues, the terrible bear that stalked him, but didn't care. Now it's hoped charges will be brought and the supplier jailed so that Perry's true friends, fans and family can at last get some sense of closure. The LA County Medical Examiner ruled in December that his cause of death was due to the accidental acute effects of ketamine with contributing factors of drowning, coronary artery disease and the effects of buprenorphine, a drug commonly used to treat opioid use disorder. Perry had been prescribed ketamine as therapy for depression a week and a half before his death, yet the post-mortem concluded he could not have died from the prescription drugs, as the drug only lasts 3 to 4 hours, and that the ketamine he took was not part of his treatment. If the task force does find someone responsible for supplying the ketamine that killed him, they could face a long jail term under federal law. 2 men who supplied hip-hop artist Mac Miller, who fatally overdosed on fentanyl in 2018, were sentenced to 17 and 11 years respectively in prison. But how will they go about it? Law enforcement sources indicate that the process will take between 6 and 12 months and will involve regular meetings between the 3 branches of the team, as they trace a complicated, digital trail of crumbs. Much time will be spent getting information from social media providers, who are notoriously slow and obstructive when it comes to cooperating with law enforcement. Investigators will also want to comb emails sent by Perry, track his activities over dating sites, and to study his financial records. The Postal Service is part of the multi-agency investigation because many users obtain drugs from websites which are then sent through the post, internationally. They have their own investigations unit which can track packages. The hope is that they can find and follow a chain of evidence which will lead to whoever can be held responsible. Is it a long shot? Derek Maltz, the former director of the DEA's Special Operations Division who has experience of this type of investigation, thinks not. There's no doubt in my mind that the law enforcement agencies involved in the investigation into Matthew Perry's death will be able to figure it out and bring closure to his family, friends and fans. To know one way or another what happened. They'll be working to a blueprint of I.